This is Logical MGTOW Spock. The reason I'm wearing this is because I'm going to be working on a model building that I'm working on right now. It's a bit big. I haven't done any small ones in a while, but I don't know if I will or not. Anyway, the video today is obviously the fact that what I've been saying and what many MGTOW members have been saying is more than more than striking a chord with the feminist idiots. They are so unhappy, so more than beside themselves, so disillusioned in thinking that they will be able to get men regardless, when they know that every man will not go the way they want to, where the man is subjected to marry them, and then suddenly, right when the woman decides to divorce them and take them for everything they have, like we men are put on this planet for that to happen to us. No, we're not. We are put on this planet for every positive, emotional, psychological purpose, way more than women realize and want to realize. And more than what women are now denying and more than willing to accept the fact that we have just of equal purpose of living and surviving, like the women have been trying to since the beginning of time. But the basic fact is that I'll give you an example. There was a person by the name of Melissa Rosso. She commented saying that we are weak. Mm-mm. Not one thing I said on the one video that she commented on consisted of men being weak. What it did consist of is that we will not put up with feminist bullshit. And what it also consisted of is we men will not put up with your little 2-year-old bullshit, women. That does not consist of weakness. We can deal with the children being of course actual 2 years of age, but women who act in such a way to get to try to get what they want when they're supposed to be adults, no. The basic fact is that women like Melissa Rosso are so unhappy and so sad and so disillusioned that they will go to the points of childish acts and judgments and name calling, like Melissa Rosso did. I'll tell you what she said, and it consists of that she said, and I have it right here too. She said, "LOL, LOL, fragile men." Melissa Rosso, we are not fragile. Melissa Rosso, what I said on that video consisted of not one increment of us being weak. What it consisted of is the truth of and about you women, which basically you obviously didn't like hearing. The basic fact is that Melissa Rosso can't handle the fucking fact that we MGTOW men have been telling the truth about feminist bitches like Melissa Rosso to start. I'm gonna say one thing to Melissa Rosso right now, and that is simply, Melissa Rosso, you women will be and have been the fragile gender since the beginning of time, since the beginning of humanity itself. We men have not been the weaker gender. You women think that you will struck a chord with us, and you may think that just because I'm making this video, you struck a chord. You didn't. The basic fact is I know many women like you, Melissa Rosso, and that is simply that I have dealt with women like you, Melissa Rosso. The basic fact is also, Melissa Rosso, you cannot think that you can go around. This is my phone, by the way. You cannot think you can just go around and try to insult the other gender and think you're miss big shit when you're not. Women will not be stronger regardless if there's a feminist movement, regardless if there's a Me Too movement or not. Women will always be known as the fragile, weak gender in all of society. You can be strong emotionally, but by like totally trying to insult the other gender because you don't like what you hear, Melissa Rosso and other feminist bitches, doesn't show that you're strong. Just because we men will not deal with your feminist bullshit of all of you women, Melissa Rosso, and just because we refuse to marry you women, and just because we don't want to be taken for everything that we have and got and earned before we even met you women, does not consist of weakness either. What I said on the video that you commented on, Melissa Rosso, and what I just said, Melissa Rosso and other feminist bitches, does not consist of men being weak or fragile for that matter. What does consist of weakness is the base of the entitlement bullshit that feminist women think that they have, which basically the aspect of entitlements is non-existent. The other aspect of entitlements is thinking that where women think they can get anything they want whenever they want on their timeline, just like a child does. But there's a big difference there, Melissa Rosa. There's a big difference between children and female adults and adults like us men as well. It's more than understandable and acceptable for children to whine, bitch, and moan and complain because they're still learning for one. But you women are supposed to be better, where you're supposed to be better in the sense of not acting like children, not expecting to get what you want just because you're used to getting what you want from your fathers. If you want to get something from your fathers, that's one thing. But you don't try to turn us into your secondary father. when you want to marry a guy that doesn't consist of the secondary father, when you want them to get you a fucking expensive item, we're not your father, so we don't have to. And that doesn't show. Oh, if you get me, that doesn't go like where women have used this bullshit every time, and I know they're still using it now. It's like, if you get me this will show how much you love me and how much you want to be with me. The basic fact is that if you're not willing to be with us, regardless of if we spend money on you women or not, then that's on you, not on us. You are losing out. Plus also note this, Melissa Rosso, if that is your real name, that is. The fact of it is that women are basically the ones that are in the aspect of saying, okay, I'm going to have this child, or I'm going to get the abortion. Even if the guy doesn't want you to have the abortion, and yet you do anyway. We logically cannot say a thing about it because it's your body. We know. We MGTOW members know. But the basic fact is, you women cannot go around thinking that you're Miss Big Shit. You'll be able to control men anyway, however, and which way you think you can. And think you're the top of the fucking base of society or whatever, or like on a fucking pedestal. When you're not. The basic fact is, Melissa Rosso, you women have always been the weaker gender. And the feminist movement are brainwashing you, women, making you believe something that's not really in all logic, nor is it realistic. The basic fact is, Melissa Rosso and other feminist bitches don't realize this, and they don't realize many other things. The basic fact is that women think that they can sway men to go the way women want them to go, and we men have to accept it. No, we don't. The basic fact is a true, real relationship goes. You accept me for who I am, and I accept for you for who you are, as long as it doesn't go against the Bible. If you committed a mortal spiritual sin, you ain't worth my time. I would tell that to a woman in face to face. If she did anything sinful, against the Bible in her one of her last relationships and or marriage, and if she took the guy for everything he had and claims that he did something when he really didn't do that negative thing, she ain't worth my time. She ain't worth. She's no woman like that's gonna be worth any MGTOW member's time. I know many MGTOW members may not go by the Bible, but they can. And those who go by the Bible, especially when it comes to relationships, especially when it comes to sexual promiscuities and many other things, the better the man is. You don't have to be religious to go by the Bible. You don't have to be a churchgoer, men, to go by the Bible. You don't have to be part of any religion whatsoever. It doesn't matter what it is, Pentecostal, Mormon, Presbyterian, whatever, Jew, whatever, You don't have to be. You can be just like a regular person. Heavenly Father loves each and every one of us, man, and accepts us for who and how we are. Women need to learn that. Women need to learn how to do that. And here's the other thing, though, too. MGTOW brothers. Um, Here's one thing. There was a comment by one person, of course, a feminist, a little fat ass bitch. Mm. That is that the woman plainly claimed that men have to be athletes and they have to accept women even if they're fat and fugly. No, 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 no. The basic fact is women don't realize in the health aspect, and I am a health advocate as well as a humanitarian citizen and disability advocate, and I'm also a business advocate. I'm also an education advocate. I'm also a health advocate. The base of health, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, it can still affect us negatively in any gender, more so the women than the men, though, in some cases. The ones that gain weight and still want acceptance from men, the women that gain weight and want acceptance and want to date men, you're not really thinking of your health and well-being. All you're concerned about is one thing, and you think the guy's going to accept you for who and how you are and want to be with you. Even if you gain weight with chubby legs, chubby arms, flabby fucking arms and legs, and a big ass fucking waist with a moderate sized to large sized stomach that doesn't consist of pregnancy at all. Not even the athletic person of the male would accept accept that, nor would they want to be with a woman in that in that aspect of fat and fugly, as it's well known. We men take care of ourselves the best way we know how to and have been able to, even with our knowledge and many other things. Even if we don't go outside and jog around town, even if we don't do bicycling or whatever the hell else. We know how to take care of ourselves. We don't. We may gain some weight, but we know how to lose it. But the one other thing too, Melissa Rosso doesn't like is the fact of what I also said on that video that she commented on. And that is that women age like milk. And this is the truth. Women age like milk and become less desirable, less in the aspect of where women are not sought out any longer. But we men We men are the ones that age with, gracefully and are sought out even more so than ever before. Melissa Rosa didn't like that part, I bet. Tough shit, because that's reality. You're going to have to learn to deal with that also, Melissa Rosa. Also, many feminist women don't realize is when they comment on my video, when basically it's a sign of them being bitter, unhappy, and not not very happy of the truth, not accepting of the truth of what even I say on my videos. There's many ways to deal with that. One, do not comment and try to and do not ever insult anybody or even me or any gender in the male. Don't insult the male gender for one, because you can't handle the truth, ladies. It is said that in order for one to be better than they are, and this goes for both males as well as females, they need to have faith and confidence in themselves, self assurance, true, not phony, not said, oh yeah, I have self assurance, type of bullshit. True self assurance, true confidence and self inner strength, and belief and trust and love within yourself. And the other part of it is don't let those who talk bad about you get you down emotionally. Don't allow it to affect you. But here's the thing. Here's the one particular thing. We men can do. And no, not because we are not as in touch or in tune with our emotions. We are in tune with our emotions the way we were created. But of course, women are more in tune with their emotions and feelings. That doesn't make us fragile. It doesn't make us weak. It doesn't make us any less human. What does make the person less human, like, are those who think that they are better than they are. Those who think that they are better than the other person, it doesn't matter the gender. Those who think that they are able to do more than they really are able to, logically. And people like Melissa Rosso are not in the aspect of human, because she tried to insult us men on the comment. That just shows what I said struck a chord with her from what she saw in the video. And what she heard on the video struck a chord. Therefore, she thought, I'm going to do this. Basically, what she's saying was, I'm going to act like a little fucking child. That's what she was saying to herself, within herself. She may not have voiced it out. You don't have to voice out and things like that when you obviously make comments like she did. The basic fact is, Melissa Rosso, you have issues. Many women who hate what we MGTOW members say, which is the damn truth about you women. You feminist little Me Too little bitches. You have issues. You've had issues even before MGTOW, even before the reinstallment of the feminist movement after the 1970s feminist movement of the ERA. Even with the new installment of the Me Too movement, you women have had issues that you were not able to compile and deal with within yourself before you even dated any one of us men. So therefore, that's not on us men, though, is it now? You might say it's not, that it is, but it's not. We didn't give you those issues. Society and the way you live your life has given you the issues. The way you have dealt with things gives you issues, ladies. The way you have felt within yourself gives you the issues and problems and things that you cannot figure out and hard and at times where you feel that's not worth to deal with right at any given point, that you feel that's not worth your time at any point in whatever whenever it may be. But yet when you date us men, you compile those issues that you have in with you women, Melissa Rosso to start with, and you try to add all the shit that we have done for you and with you, and you try to make it like it's our fault when it's not. It's easy to say, I feel this way. It's easy for women to say this. I feel this way because he did this and he did this and he did this, and when I was feeling this way, he didn't do a damn thing, and he. It's never about what you can do for yourself, is it now, ladies? What you could have done before you even dated any one of us men for yourself and within yourself. And no, you don't need a feminist movement, ladies. You don't need a Me Too movement to do this either. Yes, you might. Everybody needs support and emotional backing and whatnot. Yeah, that's a given, even for us men. But you cannot compile your issues, ladies, and then try to say everything that we've done, and you know damn well we haven't done one thing wrong. Yet you compile everything that you feel within you and try to put it upon us, men, as if we are the reason of why you feel certain ways and why you have felt any negative certain way even before you even dated us. We didn't give you those negative issues that you are unwilling to resolve within yourself. We didn't make you indecisive. We didn't make you go to the points of indecision. That was you, ladies. We didn't give you the issues and situations that you were unwilling and so-called unable to deal with and handle before you even dated us men, before you even married us men, before you even had anything to do with us men, and before we had anything to do with you women in the same level. So basically, Melissa Rosso, it is you women who have the issue. You feminist women have the issue, so much so that you're not willing to really pay attention and acknowledge. Yes, we men have issues, but we're able to resolve it with no problem. We don't let things slide right by. We have maybe in our youth. That's normal. But women are supposed to be the ones they able to handle a lot of shit because as it states in society is that women develop sooner than other women, of course, for one. But also they have a growth spurt faster than men. But also here's the other aspect of it is that women may go to the points of development early than a number of women and more than men in general. But the basic fact is that that doesn't consist of your problems being your issues and situations within you, ladies, to be any less. The moment you have issues within yourself, ladies and Melissa, you do not go to the child aspect and try to insult men because you don't like what we say about you women. The basic fact is that if you didn't want us to say what we've been saying about you women, which is the damn truth anyway, then you shouldn't have done what you've done to us men. And no, it doesn't consist of fragile. It doesn't consist of men being fragile. It just consists of the fact that we men will no longer put up with your bullshit. We will no longer put up with your childish, so-called high entitlement crap. Like I said, that entitlement base is really the fact that of you're acting like fucking 2-year-old fucking children, and yet you're supposed to be acting way more mature than a 2-year-old. Hell, even a 2-year-old can act more mature than you women. In fact, I know many 2-year-olds who act more mature than you women. And I'm sure many other MGTOW members and other men know many other 2-year-olds besides their nieces and nephews that act more mature than you women. And even more mature than the feminist bitches and the Me Too bitches. The basic fact is, ladies, you're supposed to be growing out of the I want this now, I want that now, I want this now, I want that now. You're supposed to be growing out of that. By the time you hit in your teens, preteen to major teenage, you're supposed to be growing out of that bullshit of the 2-year-old. I want it now. No, I want it now. Can I have this? And then when the parent says no, I want it now. You women are supposed to be growing out of that fucking childish bullshit. Obviously, you haven't. We men have though. Maybe to a certain extent we haven't, but we know how to control it to where we don't go to the points of acting so entitled like you women think you are. Because, like I said, and the base of entitlement is non-existent. I've said this at least 3 times in each one of my videos. The base of entitlement is non-existent. All it is you women are acting like 2-year-olds expecting to get things when you want them on your timeline and to do things on your timeline, and then you totally ignore the fact that we want to do something with you women, but you make it so what you want to do lasts longer than long enough to where we men won't be able to do what we want to do with you, even with you women, as if you matter more than we do. Nobody matters more than any other gender. We never put we men never put the fact that we matter more than you women, but you women have tried and practically done it more than any man has done to anybody. You women have gone to the points to where you think you matter more than we do. You think you matter than you've done many things in the sense of doing things to elongate shit, as if what you want to do is more important than what we want to do. And no, it does not consist of sexual promiscuities all the time, as much as you women may think and try to proclaim. And like I said, YouTube, the reason I'm wearing this Home Depot shirt is because I'm about to do a model after this video, so I'm not advertising. Anyway, the basic fact is, Melissa Rosso, you better take heed to what I say. Every other feminist woman has so far, or else I'd be seeing a list of fucking little childish antics on the comment section, especially on my Facebook pages of Logical MGTOW and Logical MGTOW Spock. Those two are my Facebook pages of MGTOW. And yes, I have a blog spot page of MGTOW as well. So, Melissa Rosso, I know this has more than cleared things up. So, I just made you feel worse, didn't I, Melissa Rosso? If I didn't, and you want to pretend like I didn't when I know I may have struck a nerve again, the basic fact is that you're not being true to yourself. I've been true to myself from day one. And as I grew and as I learned and as I was educated, even in school and outside of school and everything, right? Because you can learn things even outside of school. That's how I got the knowledge. That was my phone again. That's how I got the knowledge. Even with the fact that I graduated high school, I was able to acquire and accumulate more knowledge. As the old saying is, knowledge is power. Knowledge does not mean the power of knowledge does not mean in the sense of being like a damn Einstein. It just means that you're able to handle things. You're able to compile things even in logic to help you better deal with things and handle things. Women can do this as much as men. But the one thing is, men have been able to do it more so and more logically than women. The reason I say that is because I've seen so many fucking women try to do the same shit that I mentioned. But they let their emotions get the best of them. And I'm not saying that's their fault. I'm not saying there's any fault on that. But the basic fact is that there's ways to handle things without allowing one's emotions to get the best of you or the better of you to as you acquire and compile more knowledge for yourself to help you better with things and better handle things. Even as you live your day-to-day lives. Many women don't realize the negative things that they do and have said and have done to each and every man practically, as if we don't have any feelings or emotions. And yet, many men have gone to the points to where they go through emotional psychological depression, anxiety, sadness, unwavering aspects of not feeling worth anything. And yes, women can feel the same way. And you women have caused the aspect of men committing suicide. I'm not saying the suicide rate is any greater than it was, and I'm not saying what percentage it is right now. But the basic fact is, men are becoming more wiser now. Possibly thanks to me. That's cool too. I'm willing to help any person as an advocate. But in the MGTOW sense, I will help men through many things, emotionally, psychologically, especially when it comes to relationships and breakups and divorces and separation. Because the basic fact is, women have gone to the points of non-logic, irrational levels as well, non-realistic things to the points of high expectation, ungodly type of expectations, non-spiritual, and there's no positive even in the spiritual of high expectations that women have gotten to. Women need to acknowledge things in order to see their their wrong ways and their faults. The more they deny it, the more they refuse to, the more men will walk away from it and not want to do it, not have a damn thing to do with the woman. The only thing that will happen is there might be more rapes, and I hate that. I hate that. But you women have caused it by the way you dress in those little skimpy ass outfits and whatnot, and the bikinis and shit like that, right? And skirts and what have you else. You cause the aspect of rape because you want to look good and you want to show some skin to basically attract the wrong person at times, if not more than at times. And you want to attack us men for that. Yet women are the way women's outfits are. with the short skirts, the sleeveless shirts right here, like, tank tops and shit like that, right? Showing skin basically, even on the legs, even though when you're wearing shorts, you show a leg anyway. I know that, but basically doing that can consist of a guy raping you women. And I know the real reason why you want to do this is so you can attract men, but you will not do that by not being who you are. And if you are a cheating little fucking controlling little slut bitch, then you ain't gonna have one man at all. If you feel more entitled than you really are, then you're not gonna have a man. And if you're a little controlling little bitch, expecting to get what you want when you want, then you're never gonna have a man. You're gonna be all alone, single, and unhappy, and disillusioned within yourself. And also, you're gonna be having cats and birds all around, wondering where you women went wrong. Your whole entire natural life. This is not a judgment. This is actual facts. What I say is an actual reality and logical fact for you ladies. Start with. What I have said is also an illogical fact for us men. What I've also said in this video is a logical fact for both men as well as women. It's up to you to acknowledge it. It's not up to me. It's not up to Heavenly Father. It's not up to anybody else that you know, except for you. You are the one that's supposed to be responsible for you. I'm responsible for myself, and I have been and always will be. As much as I am responsible for children, if I have any, and I'm not going to say if I do or not. That's my business. Nobody else's. Not even the feminist bitch of Melissa Rosas. And if she wants to comment on this video and say that I have no children, she doesn't know me. Thereby, she doesn't know anything at all. With the fact of that also, yes, I know I've mentioned Melissa Rosa more than once so far. And this is not a roasting video. This is a video of logic, like many of my other videos are and have been. My videos have been also a teaching tool for men. And also something that women need to also pay attention to. Aside from the fact that it is a MGTOW video, yes. And also McHenry Cruiser needs to listen to the same thing. Because he thinks he's a ladies' man again. He's not. I have tried to help him, but the one thing is, I've known this even before I even helped anybody. In order to really want the help and to be helped, you have to be more than willing to hear the person out and then work upon doing the thing as it's not a aspect of being told what to do. It's just purely a suggestion, advice, you know. And what you do with it and the way you go about it is on you, nobody else. And if there's something that you missed within the translation, not my fault. Nobody's fault but yours. The basic fact is also is that women have gotten advice from their brothers, their male cousins, their female friends, which basically more often than not lead them the wrong path and thought process. And then or their female or male cousins or nephews or nieces. The female nieces and or male cousins or nephews. The basic fact is I can tell you why their female friends have led that one woman the wrong path. It's the points of domination, emotional, psychological bettering to show that they are better than the other female. And yet women are supposed to be there for each other, just like we men are always going to be around for helping each other. Even though I know there are men out there that will try to do other men out in the sense of trying to to show that how better they are compared to the other men. That doesn't help a damn thing. It doesn't help anybody by doing that. I know many men and many women will say, "Oh, I'm not doing that to my friends. I'm doing it because I know it to be right, and I'm just helping them out with their issues and situations that they have questions and they talk to me about." Really, it's one thing actually being helpful, but it's the complete other of saying one thing to where they are led down a path that they find is not the right path. And they may not always find it to be the right path right off the bat. It will eventually come to them if it hasn't already. But the basic fact is, we men are going to stay MGTOW. You women need to acknowledge of what I've said on this video as many other videos as well. The more you deny it within yourselves, ladies, and say and try to come up with any insult bullshit thing and think it's going to negatively affect us, you have committed a sin. You have committed the aspect of where you think that you're better than you really are, because you're not better than anybody else, ladies. Even the women of the matriarchal society were not better than the men in that century before the matriarchal society fell. Basically, you might be thinking that I'm saying that nobody's better than anybody else. It's true, but women think that they know us men more than they really do, and they think that men think that they know the women, but they really don't. Ah, the one thing is, we men know you women enough We don't need to know your emotions or anything else for that matter, even in the psychological aspects. But I do know the female and male psyche. The female and male psyche, I know both. And I know you women too well. And that might be the reason why women are not coming to me and wanting to be with me. Yeah, I've been okay with that since day one. Since women have been able to see the fact that I have knowledge of and about them. I'm not saying I'm smarter than any other MGTOW member or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. But the basic fact is I have my knowledge that has helped me through, and that I've been able to help many other people through by using the same knowledge that I have as I share it with others. I've been doing that since I was 5. I've been doing that since I was in my teens, my preteens and teenage. I've been doing that since I was in my elementary school age. I've been doing that since I was in my 20s and 30s. Does that make me better than any other man? No. Does that make me any better than any woman? Quite possibly. Actually, more than possibly. Because women have acted the way of a 2-year-old. The base of expectation, just like a child. The base of what they call entitlements, just like a child. Expectation and entitlements still go hand in hand. But the basic fact is that you women need to realize, and you refuse to realize, that the base of entitlements, done. Non-existent. The base of you acting like 2-year-old fucking children, expecting to get what you want when you want it on your timeline, and expecting for guys to fall in place to do what you want and the way you want, even if it means loss of job because you don't want them to go to work, even though they need to in order to make the money to do things with you, and to help both of you and him to survive if you are living with them, with a man, right? But yet you turn around and make it as if it's our fault that we have to work when we do, and you make it as if the reason why you cheated on us, as if it's our fault when it's not our doing. See, that's the thing too. And I guess I'm wearing summer attire, but yeah, that's the thing too. Even on cheaters, it's proven the program cheaters. I don't know how many you people watch it at late at night. But even on cheaters, it's proven time and time and time and time and time and time, continuously, nonstop, where women are so indecisive, so insecure, so fucking baffled within their emotions that they're not able to stabilize themselves to where they're able to stay faithful to the person, to the man, essentially. So that what they do instead is they go out while the guy is working, whether if they're living with him or not, and they fucking go out and cheat either with their brother, with the guy's brother or friend or cousin or nephew or someone outside that circle, even if it's the same damn gender as the woman. And they try to blame us men because of their negative, illogical, sinful action done by the fucking female. When really, we men did not make you do that. We did not give you any leeway of doing that, in the sense of going against the Bible behind the man's back. You women put it upon and took it upon yourself to do that and try to blame us when it's not really our fault. It's never been our fault when women do that. Yet women think they can just get away with it and say, "It's you're hardly around. That's why he cheated on you. You're we never do anything anymore. You never say anything to me when you come home from work. You never call me when you come home from work till I know you're safe and everything." Oh, believe me, there's more to that. I know many of us, even many MGTOW members, can come up with a lot of shit that women would come up with to fucking make a phony ass, illogical, sinful excuse of why they cheat, of why women cheat on us men, and try to make it as if it's our fault when it's not, and it's never been, because women want the aspect of fault to always land on the other person outside themselves. Even if the woman does it themselves, that one woman does it themselves, and they know it's wrong, but yet they do it anyway, they'll either blame their friends, female or male, or they'll completely direct the blame and fault towards the man that they are dating or married to or in any level relationship with. When really, it's the woman who did the sinful shit. It's her fault whether she wants to admit it or not. And take the fucking fault in face value. Because it is in actuality that men have done the same thing. And I'm not gonna say we're any better on this one, but men have done the very same thing. But when women do it, it doesn't make things any better now, does it? And when you women do it, it doesn't make anything better. And it's not teaching us a lesson. For the men of the past that have cheated on the women of the past, it doesn't teach either gender a lesson. It doesn't say anything positive, or it doesn't say you need to pay more attention to me. It doesn't say, as much as women think it does say, oh, you need to pay more attention to me. You need to focus on me more than anything, more than your work, more than on yourself. And basically, that's what women think it says. That is sending a message that we men have to pay attention to them more than we may have. The one thing is, even if we men do pay attention to you women, it doesn't do any better. It hasn't. So the attention becomes less and less. It doesn't come less to the point to where we're not acknowledging you, but it has been that way for us men when your attention becomes less and less towards us, and yet it goes to the point of where you women don't acknowledge us, but we don't do that. We don't do the not acknowledging things to you, women, as much as you may think or even assume that we can. We can do it in such a way that you wouldn't even know the difference. Because you would be so beside yourself of many other things that are going within your little feminist mind and your life in general that you wouldn't be able to tell what's real and what's not. Hell, you're not able to tell what's real and what's not anyway. So what's the big difference, right? It's because you women are so in tune with your emotions, for one. You're allowing your emotions to get the better of you. You're allowing the base of your emotional indecisiveness and indecision to get the better of you. That's why you do these, that's why you've done the negative things that you've done even to us men. Even in the base of harming us men, that's why you've done it. So you women need to realize this. The more you deny it, the more you will find you're not going to be any happier. The more you acknowledge it, the more you accept it, ladies, and do what you can to change it for the better, maybe over time you might be happier than you have been, even before MGTOW and even before the reinstallment of the feminist movement and before the installment of the Me Too movement. But again, women do not need the feminist movement. Women do not need the Me Too movement to do these things, to acknowledge the truth, reality, logic, sensibility. Women might say, well, you don't need MGTOW for the same thing. Guess what? What we men need is up to us, not up to you women. You women don't like us deciding things for you, women. So you women cannot decide things for us. And therefore, you women cannot say what we should and should not do. Like what I mentioned earlier of the one woman saying that men need to be more athletic and accept us for who and however we are and the way we look and everything. Even if you're fat and fugly, ladies. Even if you're not even pregnant with our child, and yet you might say that it is our child when really it's not. Because what many teenage men don't realize, those even teenage women that become pregnant, which is also known as teenage pregnancy, as everybody knows by now, that it is the right of the man and the teenager and the 20-year-old man and the 30-year-old man, the 40-year-old man, to get a blood test before any marriage vows, before any concept of marriage whatsoever, and before any level of involvement of any marriage aspect, and before anything goes any further within the relationship. If the woman denies it and starts questioning us men, saying, "You don't believe me that it's yours?" We have a right to whether we want to believe it or not. If it is, we have a right to make sure that it is. And if the woman is gonna be emotional and butthurt over it, we ain't gonna marry your sorry ass feminist bitch. Yet whenever you women have questionable things when it comes to us men, you expect us to snap up and prove it like that, right? But when it comes to you women, right? You know it's the damn truth. You know it's the damn truth. That's the child aspect. It's like they have to prove everything to me. This is the woman. The men has to prove everything to us women, but we don't have to prove a shit thing to them. They're gonna have to accept it, even when and if we say it. They have to go to the point of believing, even if we are bullshitting them through and through. That's the aspect and concept of women. It's been like that since the late 80s, early 1990s, and even to this point. It's been like that since 2000 as well. It's been like that since 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, and 12. 2013, 2014, 2015, and 2016, and 2017, and 2018, 2019, and to this year. It's been like that. Even in the 1970s, it's been like that. Even the 1960s has been like that. 1950s has been like that. 1980s has been like that. No more. No more. You women need to realize if you want us to prove things like this, when it's logically human in the human aspect, impossible to prove things right off the fucking bat like this. But it's not impossible for you women to go over to the hospital or clinic with the guy, get some blood tests between him, you, and the child that's not even born yet. And if it comes out that the child has the same blood type and what have you, in the aspect of the sperm cells and shit like that, where it is the guys, then that's okay. That's okay. Well, we can accept that. But if it isn't, out the door we go, or out the door you go. Meaning that if you women are living in the guy's place, out the door you go. And if we men are living in your place, women, we we may accept it, but yet you won't know our next move. Only we will. And if you question it, you're going towards the aspect of disrespect and negative assumption, which is sinful. With the fact that if it is not our child, and you want to proclaim that it is, and yet we find out somewhere or another that it's not, say mostly before marriage, before the I do's, then it's not our fault. And even if you have the child, we don't have to pay the child support. We can easily fight it to the point to where the child is someone else's. Yes, there are men out there still, surprisingly enough. But yeah, there are men out there that will be more than willing to accept the child as their own. That's commendable to a point. And what I mean to a point is if the woman takes advantage of that, so much so that they would go to the point of say divorce court and saying this is their child when it's really not. So the woman deserves child support. That's where you cross the line, ladies. That's where you cross the line. That's where you will be falsely, where you will also be judged when your time is up on this planet. Therefore, you're judged even while on this planet, not by the court system, but by Heavenly Father Himself. The negative things that you do, ladies, even behind the man's back, you are judged harshly and heavily by Heavenly Father Himself. And that judgment will be in face value when your time is up on this planet. Much like it will be for all the things that we have done on this planet that are logically wrong. Not what you women claim to be wrong, but what are logically wrong and realistically wrong that we know that we have done wrong. Not what you women assume that we have done wrong. Because what you say what we have done wrong, you women are not in the level or capacity to make judgments of us men, or even negative, sinful assumptions of us men, even negative, sinful judgments in the same aspect of judgments. You women were not put on this planet to say anything of sinful judgment or assumption or any hateful, vulgar wording towards us men because you don't like what we say and or have done. Yes, we MGTOW members have said a lot of things about you women. But the one thing is, there's a big difference. What we MGTOW men have said about you women is the damn truth, whether you want to admit it or not. Whether you want to accept it or acknowledge it and fucking pay the piper, as it were, and deal with it. Be that acknowledging. With all that, if you women think that you can say things that of men that we are not, like the one person by the name of again by the name of Melissa Aroso, what she said on the comment section of one of my videos, which I can see on my phone, but obviously she was too chicken to keep it on the aspect of the video comment even online. by claiming we are fragile, the real fragile being and gender will always be, and I said this before, this is the last time I'm saying it on this one video, the real fragile species, gender, will always be the female, like it or not. The emotional strength within one person, both male as well as female, that's a totally different thing. That's a totally separate thing. But name calling, trying to insult, sinful, unbecoming of the person that they are or claim to be. That's just to name a number of them. So basically, Rosemary, Melissa Rosso, essentially, is so struck with what I said on this video. I'm going to play a little bit of it. This is Logical MGTOW Spock. Today's topic is obviously going to be possibly a mixture of things, like the other one was, going into men and women in evolution and such like that. But I'd start with what I saw cover on where it was posted on a cover of a video that stated where I had a woman state that she knew exactly what a real man was, and as if we don't know what a real man is, right? Yet also, and as you will see in the front cover, if you haven't already seen it before you click the video here, is that women automatically can automatically think they can still judge us by saying men need to grow up. I'm ready to settle down. When really we men already know what that really is stating. That they want to give it another try to where she takes us for everything we have. She's ready to settle down to where she has more money than what she makes of her own. This is where I'm wearing my Starfleet uniform and I like it. This is the one video that and it could be also where she has money to where she doesn't have to work ever again. That Melissa Rosso didn't like, obviously. So basically, it's not really about the aspect of a woman ready to settle down. It's not about the fact that they are more than eager to have children, just so they can get money out of us for the base of child support as well as alimony. Like there was this one video I saw and even our MGTOW brother by the name of Mike the MGTOW Man did his own reference of it. It had to do with a woman sitting down on the couch looking this way, right at the camera, right? And stating how much she really wanted to have a baby and someone to come home to. That's not a tearjerker. Mm-hmm. The reason, there's many reasons why it's not a tearjerker, because that whole thing is whether if it's emotionally true for the woman, or even if they're saying it just to get sympathy. More often than not, is that the aspect of sympathy and feeling sorry for her. It is the female gender that caused the crap where women don't want to are not going to be dealt with by us men because they act like children. If they don't get what they want, they bitch, moan, stomp their feet, and go to the point of even at times physicality. This, of course, happens um, depending on the type of woman we're dealing with. That might have been where Melissa Rosso commented because of us being fragile when we're not. Yeah, when she knows that she said was wrong. Stomping their feet like little fucking children. Whining, moaning, and bitching. Saying, if you don't do this for me, you don't get sex from me. As Tom Likas says, we can get it from somewhere else. Granted, if we're married, then of course it's a spiritual sin. But of course, women do that anyways, don't they? They go to the aspect of, aside from the fact of the no-fault divorce, as I mentioned in my video from yesterday, and I'll put the video on the bottom of the description, that due to the aspect of the no-fault divorce, and including with the aspect of the fact that our prenuptial agreement that we have the woman sign for us is used like toilet paper. But theirs, it's, you might as well say it's on a metaphorical picture frame on the wall, like a piece of art. The basic fact is also is that women use that no-fault divorce to where even if they do have an affair or cheat on us, essentially, which is basically the easy way of saying she's having an affair, she's committing adultery while married to us, especially, even in a relationship with us, even before marriage. The no fault divorce on the female side is in like I said, it's in defense of the fucking female. So they can act like they're single all they want, and they don't have any ramifications against them, but we have the ramifications against us, even when it's a load of shit. And women want to use the aspect of going, men need to grow up, I'm ready to settle down. Or men, I know what it takes to be what a real man is, type of thing, you know? Like, I'll put the link of it on the description, but the basic fact is that any number of things I said on that video, it struck a chord with Melissa Rosso. That doesn't make us fragile of what I said on that video, Melissa. The basic fact is that there's fairness and there's no fairness. Yes, life's not fair. But yet, life's not fair for you women even before the no fault divorce. And I know women, even a number of women lawyers have been saying, "Oh, just because she had an affair doesn't shouldn't consist of her doing anything wrong." Well, it does spiritually. If society is willing to, or even more than willing to, accept the fact that even if the woman does something wrong, that she's not put in any fault, even when the man has done nothing wrong to her to make to even make her do that, and no man makes a woman go to the points of affair anyway. That's on the woman. That whole thing is on the woman if she commits the affair, adultery slash adultery, I should say. So therefore, the no fault divorce is a load of shit. That doesn't make us weak or fragile, Melissa Rosso. It just goes to the points of common sense. We can easily make it to where there's a no fault on what we have done to you women in the centuries before the century. We could, but we don't, because we are way more logical and more sensible than you women. So the no fault divorce needs to be taken out. Daddy government needs to be a lot more fair than having a one-sided bullshit thing when it benefits the woman. The aspect of marriage needs to be right, put the way Heavenly Father himself and our Savior himself put the aspect of marriage. And that's my phone again. And that means where the marriage aspect is beneficial for the man as well as the woman equally, because the aspect of marriage is still where it's a business and beneficial for the woman and zero benefit for the man. The more it stays like that, and the more the no fault divorce thing that benefits the woman stays where it is, the more chances the woman will be alone, single, and the base of humanity will be non existent because of that. So it is that plus the fact that the woman cannot act like a little fucking 2-year-old. In the sense of acting a 2-year-old, expecting to get things the way they want it, when they want it, and how they want it, and various other things. And still expect to be treated like an adult, a woman adult. We can treat you women like little fucking children by ignoring the fuck out of you. And I know you won't like that. Tough shit. So therefore, I'm going to put it out there that every MGTOW member, even if you are dating the woman still, even if you are doing the Tom Likas aspect, do what is known to be what women have done to each and every one of us men in our youth, in which would be ignoring and thinking that they are better. In aspect, ignore them. If they try to get our attention, ignore them. Even if they think that we are looking at them, you can easily say that you are looking at something else. And women won't like that, and I won't, and I don't care. So the aspect of it is that the elongation of humanity falls on the woman, and that's damn ass pressure on the woman. The woman needs to quit with the phony bullshit of entitlements, which is really a 2-year-old childlike fucking. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. I want this now, and I want that now. You're going to do this for me and you're going to do that for me and I don't have to do anything for you type of shit. And the no-fault divorce needs to be non-existent. The aspect of marriage being a business for women and the beneficial of women has to be non-existent. Because it was non-existent when with the of the marriage benefiting the woman more than the man has been non-existent from the aspect of the from the very first installment and creation of marriage. But women have been able to make it a business to benefit the woman several centuries before, and I know Heavenly Father himself knew this would happen. In order for man and womankind base of humanity to keep going, the no-fault divorce that benefits the woman needs to be non-existent. The aspect of women acting like children and expecting to be treated like adults needs to be non-existent. Meaning that the woman needs to quit acting like a child, expecting to get things what they want when they want it, type of shit to start with. And women need to quit being so indecisive and with the base of indecision, and they need to quit also doing other shit that is also sinful and trying to blame the man for why they did it, for why the woman did it, when really it's all on the woman, and the women need to acknowledge this and accept it and take fault of what they do and have done, even if they don't want to. No man is responsible for any wrongdoing that any woman does, whether if they're in a relationship or not with the man. That's the truth. And if women refuse and keep on denying it, the more chances woman will be used and single and alone. They'll be just used for the pussy and then become single and alone. And they won't be able to get the guy for child support whatsoever if they end up being pregnant. And that will be the fault of the woman, not the man. For all the things that women have tried to get the man for, when it's really the woman's wrongdoing and action of their negative actions that they have done and said and tried to, even in the base of insult. Because when women insult men, it doesn't say, "Ooh, I want to be with her now." Mm-mm. It just deters the man, and every other man for that matter, to stay away from that one woman. And the more women do that and expect shit, as I said before in each and every one of my other videos, even before this one, besides this one as well, the more chances that every woman across the fucking base of society itself, every woman will be single. And that will be the fault of the woman, feminism, the Me Too movements, because the feminism and Me Too movements are falling apart, and it will be the fault of daddy government. And then will be the fault of the woman expecting to get married and having the marriage only benefit the woman. When Heavenly Father himself and our Savior himself created marriage to benefit the two, not the one. This is logical MGTOW Spock. This is what I said to be the truth. And if Melissa Rosso comments on this one again, she will have to say more. Because if she says anything even in the aspect of insult, and try to emotionally drag me down, she won't be able to. Even with her mentioned is not a good thing. Because the basic fact is that I know many people say, well, if you mention her, that she'll get more subscribers, right? No. The basic fact is that I'm saying things that are logically true and realistic, which can easily deter every subscriber away from the person's channel, away from the woman's channel. Because the aspect of notoriety, the way women have wanted it, is not good. And their high expectations is not good. So basically, women are dooming themselves. The female gender is dooming themselves, doing themselves in. It's not the guy's fault. It's the woman who is doing themselves in, emotionally, psychologically, and otherwise. Even by the aspect of the insult. And like I said, I will put that video that I showed parts of off my phone. I will post it on the link on the description. This is Logical MGTOW Spock. Please, men, stay strong, stay self-assured, self-confident. Believe in yourself, have faith and belief in yourself, and stay strong. Stay single. Do the Tom Likas 101 thing that I've mentioned many times on each one of my other videos. Again, men, stay strong, stay self-assured, self-confident, stay MGTOW, stay single, stay MGTOW for life, brothers.